What's up, guys? This is Bateman here with Rotab Gaming, and once again, I'm joined by Day Zero Gaming, and we're here to do episode 3 of the State of Breakpoint as we have new information released about the March 24th release of Chapter 2 and our supposed February update that is now coming out at the same time. Let's see here. I'm basically going to be giving you guys the information that Ubisoft gave us, and from there, we're just gonna give all the information and what we think about it, and of course, leave a comment at the end. We'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Um, let's start with the title update 2.0.0. Um, it'll include new narrative content tied to episode 2, PvP updates, new classes, and many quality of life updates, as well as a new immersive experience for the game called Ghost Experience. Let's see.
Ghost Experience. Ooh, sounds interesting there.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get into the Ghost Experience in a minute, but first I want to talk Deep State. On 24th, Deep State comes out. That's the first DLC that we were promised, obviously. Um, I want to know if you have an opinion on the fact that they have come out with a trailer for the the Ghost Experience, the immersive gameplay, but they haven't given us anything on Deep State like they normally would. Why do you think that is?
I don't think it's necessarily that they're gonna push it back, like some other people think. Some people think they're gonna push it further back, uh,
I've heard that, but wow.
but I don't think so. I think they are sticking to their date on this one. I think it's just due to their marketing. Their marketing sucked, even with the Terminator event. You would have expected to see like a trailer a month beforehand to build hype. It didn't come out until a couple days, the day of, I'm pretty sure. It's just bad marketing. It's what
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto 5 had done with its first updates, and then they realized how bad their marketing was, so they started doing trailers beforehand and stuff like that to get people hyped. No one
yeah.
wants to be hyped about something after it's already out. You want to build hype before the release.
Let
Like
alone
that's
being
just
hyped
like
about something
marketing
that should
101,
already be
man.
out.
Like, but I think it's just bad marketing. I don't think it's due to another delay or anything like that.
Yeah, to me, they were more excited about releasing the trailer for the Ghost Experience. So, um, anyway, so I had to shoot you there for a second. So, let's see here. The Ghost Experience reads that after gathering all the feedback they could, their team created the Ghost Experience, a game mode that will give the players the option to create their own personal Spec Ops journey. After months in development and several playtests with many types of players, including Delta Company members, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands players, and new players of the franchise, we are now ready to introduce the Ghost Experience to you all. Now, I would like to know who these Wildlands players were that they claim haven't played Breakpoint yet, that they brought in on the immersive mode. That fascinates me. I'd really love to see that. But anyway, I will read on. So right when you boot up the game, you will be able to choose from two preset options to build your own combination. Regular experience, which is the way it has been, and the immersive experience, which is a brand new experience that removes gear level and tiers loot entirely and offers new tactical options.
So here's
Now it
my
also
thought on that
says, one
is
second, it also says you'll be able to choose from a variety of community requested settings such as stamina management, health regen, and HUD settings, and more. And they basically say it's been a challenge and that's why it's been pushed back. But go ahead, I apologize for interrupting you.
here's my thought on that, bro, is it'll offer new tactical options. I mean, like what tactical options could they not have just like put into the game? Like instead of putting themselves through the challenge of removing gear score, which is seems like a push of a button to me, but we'll see what it actually is. But when it comes to like adding stuff into the game, why wouldn't they just like focus on that instead of trying to overhaul the game like from the ground up? Like basically, why couldn't they have added like a prone roll to the game? Like that sounds a lot more tactical to me than spending it like that. That would take the development time of maybe like less than a day to implement it across the entire game. Why can't they add stuff like that instead of like trying to focus on like all these big projects and just sitting there doing them for months and like trying to break the game you know, instead of
Yeah,
actually
I'd be
doing
more
stuff the
interested
community
in
cares
knowing
about.
how they planned on, like, for what reason they couldn't release the episode 1 stuff, like the new PvP maps, the new PvP missions, the engineer class, still in February. Well, still working on the immersive mode and releasing it with the DLC. To me, that makes no sense.
It's because they needed more time to do the update. They knew it wasn't ready.
But that update has nothing to do with the engineer class. You can't tell me they didn't have the engineer class ready.
The engineer class was most likely broken. It probably took them a while. They were still working on it. They would have given it to us. Either that or they just want to bring all. They wanted to save it until all the new people come. That way, like, oh, look at this dude. He's posting videos about this engineer class. Man,
Yeah,
Breakpoint has so much new stuff in it. Whoa.
they
It's
want to
like
add everything at once to make it look like it's
instead
they're
of doing
releasing
the
a bunch of
community a
content.
service, yeah.
Correct. Now, and moving on to the engineer class, engineers will deal more damage to drones, carry extra offensive items, and have a buff to grenade launchers. Now, we heard heavy weapons, and obviously we all assumed LMGs. Their special ability is the defensive drone, which will attack nearby enemies. Cue the Division 2. Their class tool is the ammo supply drone, which will bring their allies an extra magazine, which I find a bit silly. And apparently, Year 1 Pass owners will have exclusive access for 1 week starting on Tuesday, March 24th, which I don't get because if you don't have the Year 1 Pass, you. Okay, so I guess on the 31st they'll be releasing it for people without the Year 1 Pass, who probably aren't even playing the game at this point anyway. So, um, what do you think? What do you think of those class abilities and whatnot?
I think the year one pass has kind of been lackluster up until now. Definitely hasn't had too much too much extra. I really don't care about like getting something 7 days early. Like they should have. I don't know. It really seems like they. It seems like you shouldn't buy season passes in Ubisoft games. Really. Uh, I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff that's really, really dumb that's been going on. But when it comes to the abilities and stuff, I feel like the LMG should have had a buff, man. Like, no one's using the grenade launcher. I'm
Well,
sorry.
who needs a
Nobody's
buff
using
on a
it.
grenade launcher?
Nobody needs a
Really?
buff on the grenade launcher. Why is that a thing?
Okay.
When it
Well,
comes to LMGs, I feel like they could have done really subtle things like reload speed or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be damage if they're worried about balancing.
exactly.
And then
It's already
also,
going to be LP on the raid. They don't need to add damage. We just.
the drone, man, it's copying off of Division too much, and I don't think you'll be able to control it like with a little touchpad screen
And
or
if you
nothing like that.
can, and even if you can, what are you going to allow that into PvP? Which they have to because every other class can use their ability in PvP. So you want to see an attack drone flying around in PvP? I mean, that's just gonna ruin a lot of people's opinions of everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with PvP, bro. We'll get
So
back to that
now
later.
we're gonna move into the community requested updates. Now I'm gonna read from this for a second, so sorry if I don't move around. Um, Community requested updates include camera placement, which will allow you to choose whether the camera will dynamically adapt its distance depending on the situation, staying close or moving further from the character.
Thank
There will be
God.
three choices. There are three choices: dynamic, close, and far. Dynamic is it shifts close during combat and far out of combat, and that's how it currently works in the game. Close would have the camera stay close, and far would have the camera stay far. Um, I know a lot of people have been asking for this since the beginning. Um, I personally am glad to see it, but I would rather more of an adjustability to it, kind of like on Division Two. If you're going to copy stuff off Division Two,
Take the good shit.
yeah,
Not the parts
give me
everybody
the
hates.
give me the field of view, um, and let me adjust that myself. Increased weapon parts. Players will get more low quality weapon parts for dismantling. Um, that's for all the people
If they're
who.
doing all this rebalancing anyways, why don't they just rebalance the weapon part system? Like,
Well, we'll get to that. Better weapon and gear sorting options. The favorite system. When hovering over an item in the loadout or in the shop, players can mark an item as a favorite. Once it is a favorite, it cannot be dismantled or sold until deselected. Optimize gear. A new button appears in the loadout only when gear level is activated. When pressed, the player will instantly equip all the best gear present in their inventory. This applies only to gear, not weapons. Now, that'll be really good for people starting the game and coming up through that want to use their highest gear score stuff. Um, Weapons and gear sorting. New sorting options added for better usability. I know I've been dying for that. Sell all. Players can now sell all non-favorite and non-equipped weapons. Dismantle all. When in a weapon or gear selection page, players can choose to dismantle all non-favorited and non-equipped weapons or items in this category. Option to quick equip new gear and weapons. When looting an item, players can now equip it immediately by holding a button input as shown in the loot notification window. The Walker and Hill figures will be reintroduced with the release of the title update. And here we go again. Number 4, base jump. The fourth time base jump is being updated. They create new platforms to base jump from in key areas. So I guess they'll be adding spots on the map. Updated systems in game, which create a more permissive base jump experience, and reduced auto deploy distance to allow for more time base jumping before deploying the parachute. Vehicles improvements have been made to helicopter immersion, bike animations, and general handling debugging. Something tells me that won't be right off the bat. They'll probably have to take a couple cracks at that, like they have at base jumping. Um, Respawn system improvements. Added new respawn points to relevant, highly traversed areas on the map. Players will no longer respawn to the closest point geographically. Instead, they will respawn to the latest location they went through before dying to avoid spawning in a location they have not visited before. Gunsmith updates. Most assault rifles will now be able to equip short barrel options. Some assault rifle models have been omitted as their real-life counterparts do not have short barrel options. And TA-31H added to 27 weapons with emphasis on assault rifles. Uh, we are beginning work on the gunsmith, and we'll have more updates to come in upcoming title updates. We'll add trigger customization and more to the feature, so please continue giving us feedback. Now, that's my favorite part because we all know they don't listen
they
to
take
everyone's.
feedback from a really small part of the community that is
That
the
they
most
pick.
vocal, but that but that like really doesn't share the views of like everyone who's
Yeah.
not playing the
Some
game, you know?
some
So
of
it's
us have
like
been vocal and not been paid attention to. I know you're on that list. I know I'm on that list.
vocal as in like complaining on Reddit like every single day like a little baby. That type of vocal.
So they say we've done our best preparation to ensure the new systems introduced to the title update with the Ghost experience work smoothly with the existing ones, but we know that there will be things that only get exposed when accessed by hundreds of thousands of people. We are committed to it. They think hundreds of thousands of people are still going to play this game. We are committed to addressing the issues that may arise as quickly as we can. You know, so they won't be pushing it back anymore or something. Jeez, we are committed to addressing the issues that may arise quickly, and we can keep you apprised of our progress on them. So now all they wrote about Ghost War is coming in episode 2. Will also release updates to Ghost War, including new maps and map voting function. Now there are what 5 or 6 maps on here now.
Right.
They're adding 2 more, and then 2 more after that for episode 2, which will be later in a couple months. So that brings us up to 10 maps in a couple months, which still isn't enough for a map voting function
Right
yet.
now we should be on around 12 maps, right? We should be at least at 12 maps. Some of which should have been
Well,
like up on the volcano where the raid is.
Call of
Um,
Duty came out after this game, correct?
correct.
Because they've already released multiple maps to add on.
To be fair, this game is built not really for PvP as much, which I will accept 100%.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to the PvP maps, how easy is it to take a section of the map, put a circle like, hey, you can't go past this, and then like place a couple props? Like,
That's what they've done with all of these
exactly.
maps.
So how difficult would it be to just grab a couple of the raid locations and be like, okay, there, PvP map.
Yeah, I'm
They
not
they
sure.
should have had 4 to 6 maps of just raid locations that could have turned into PvP stuff.
I mean, before this game came out, they were promising other PvP game modes, and there was a lot more to it. And this game cannot survive alone as a PvP game, which it may have to. We'll get into that in a few minutes. I just want to read real quick the community survey update portion. Um, as a follow up to the community survey, they want to give us a status update. So, enemy AI improvements, which are in progress. They're continuing general debugging for Title Update 2.0.0, especially regarding NPC packing. Ability to sprint in Erewhon has been closed. After investigating the resources needed to implement this, the team has decided not to focus on it and is investing time in other areas.
Okay,
And
so
AI
one thing with
teammates,
that,
go ahead.
so the how hard would it be, right, to just remove the travel restriction in Arrow on, make it to where it's like the rest of the game. Oh, you can walk however you want. Number
I'm not
two,
sure.
how hard would it be to just increase the speed of the walking? Like, just make it to where you walk twice as fast. How easy of a solution would that be? Like, it's
I'm
like
not a developer, but it seems like if something like that has would take up too much resources, then they built this
for a
game
million
ass
dollar company, yeah,
backwards.
it's like
The last thing was AI teammates. They're continuing to work on AI teammates for implementation in Breakpoint. And I know 85% of you voted for AI teammates, but with whatever I mean, we have sink shot drones. Other than helping you out in a firefight, which they don't do much of anyway, I still don't understand the purpose of AI teammates. So I know I disagree with the majority there, but that's just
But
my
then
two
again,
cents.
you disagree with the majority of people being vocal about it that actually still play this game and haven't moved on because they haven't added anything that matters. Like, once you think about it, the majority of people agree with you. They've just moved on to another game. And they're
I like some
definitely
of the
not
stuff they're
stalking
talking
Ghost
about
Recon on Twitter.
doing. Uh, I like the things that they're talking about doing. Um, I mean the offline mode um, will help players with poor connections and that. Okay, this part is where you lose me, and this is where I'm gonna try not to go on a rant. The next section reads Raid 2 Cancellation. Our team was humbled and grateful to receive your feedback on Project Titan, which was something entirely new for us and for Ghost Recon as a
It was a
franchise.
really fun raid.
In our original Year 1 plan, we wanted to follow up Project Titan with another raid. However, we want to make sure we are allocating our resources in the best places to create better experiences for our players. With this in mind, we have made the decision to replace the second raid with a future update to the Ghost experience. Based on all other player feedback we've received online and in playtesting, our team is confident that deepening the Ghost experience is the right direction for the game.
Well,
Now,
I
before you
disagree.
say anything, before you say anything, I just want to simply say, you call yourself a game that's optimized for co-op, but you don't give us any goal to grind towards. You don't give us anything to do except for play PvP and the raid, but you're going to take the second raid away to add on to the Ghost experience, which at this point, the Ghost experience, all it does is give you a new way to do all of the other existing things over and over again. Whereas a true game that was optimized for PvP would
Co-op.
have clan
Co-op. Co-op.
systems first of all, or yeah, sorry, optimized for co-op, would have clan systems first of all, but that's beside the point. It would have something for us to do weekly, monthly. I mean, look at Wildlands. Even in Wildlands, they now have that crate um, system, the Spec Ops crates. I'm sure you've seen that, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have.
They have the weekly bounties. They have the month or the clan rewards. They have. So, how are you supposed to be optimized for co-op if you're not giving us anything else to do?
And here's
At the
another
moment,
big
the only
point.
reason people playing is PvP or the raid. I mean, or
Or
they just recently
Milsim
bought
that,
it for cheap.
yeah.
Even milsim people are really. I haven't seen many on the game, and I know a few. And I know
They
you know
mostly
a
play
few.
Wildlands because it's actually like
But
20
they
times
say
more
they're
in depth.
listening. They say they're listening to the community, and the only community that they're listening to is the community that they pick and choose on
Yep.
their own. They hand pick the community that they listen to, and that's what's bothering me. I think I feel I could safely speak for a couple hundred people at the very least. And I know for a fact that there's way more than a couple hundred people that would kill for that second raid that really wanted it. And I don't know. This is
Couple thousand at least.
shame on you, Ubi. The best thing you did in this game, in my opinion, was the raid. It came out on time. It was good, but it still hasn't even had a chance because people are just using the DMR glitch and you refuse to fix that because you're too busy doing your other crap. And I just don't think that they've given the raids enough of a chance. I really don't.
One thing to add to that, bro. Literally, the raid. Honestly, they could have made content even without adding anything. They could have made so much content for this game. All they would have had to do was add raid modifiers, add You know, just add the stuff that's already supposed to be in the game. Like the more PvP maps, more game modes. Add the raid modifiers. Change it up every week. Do this, do that. Add a couple cosmetics. Keep the faction rewards going. Keep the season going. Give people a reason to play the game other than to run around in the woods.
So, and after that, they say year one pass with the delays of recent content. Um, blah blah blah. And the year one pass ends, and we have delivered all of the following content: Sirens Call Day 1 mission, 2 upcoming new adventures in Aroa, an early unlock for 3 new classes, and the Special Ops Forces pack. Um, Regardless of the release date, all year 1 pass owners will get access to the 2 upcoming adventures, starting with Deep State, as well as early unlock for 3 new classes, starting with the release of Engineer.
What was that,
Now,
bro? I couldn't hear you. Can you speak a little
which
louder on
part?
that last one?
Which
Just
part?
that last part.
Regardless of the release date, all year 1 pass owners will get access to the 2 upcoming adventures, starting with Deep State, as well as early unlock for 3 new classes, starting with the release of Engineer.
Early unlock for, okay. Gotcha.
So after that, they go on to say thank you and pat themselves on the back for being great at fixing the game, which they didn't fix anything, they just changed it. Well, they fixed some things, but um, I mean, one of us, both of us, or both of us at the same time, will make a future video in the next day or two going over the all the content in the immersive mode. But this video was just, I mean, I had to get it out there about. I liked everything I saw on here, and then I read the bottom of that page where it said they were canceling the second raid, and it kind of ruined the game.
The second
I'm
raid
still
they
gonna
should have already
play.
been done making.
I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna enjoy the hell out of this game. I promise you that. But I, I'm not gonna be happy about the fact that this game is not gonna be sustainable without a new PvP game mode and without a new raid. As soon as the last DLC comes out, there is going to be absolutely nothing left to keep players around, which just proves that they are giving up on the game and putting out the content that they originally planned, except for the raid, obviously. Everything else is just guesswork at this point, so that's my opinion. I'm sorry if you feel differently. We always want to hear from you guys, obviously. Um, and I
And don't
don't
take this
I don't
as
have
us
much
being
this
too
to say.
harsh either. Like,
No, we like this
this is
game.
just our
We
opinions, guys. Like,
we
you can
love
like
this
this
game.
game and I won't have a problem with it.
I still love this game. I still think it just makes me sad at how much potential this game has and how much of it is not being used. Um, I I definitely want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your opinions, especially about what we were talking about, and because I would like to know if everyone feels differently than me. I would like to know that. Maybe I just have a different vision in my head for this game than everyone else. But other than that, I really don't have much more to say prior to March 24th. Um, so
Or
I'll
until
leave
the
it up to Day
trailer
Zero
drops.
to give any words that he might have until the DLC.
Uh, I'm speechless, bro. Man, they don't know how to just quit while they're not ahead, you know? It's like,
Well, that's the problem. They quit before they were ever ahead, and they gave up on the game,
it's
and
funny
they
because it's a
decided it had to be
multi-million-dollar company sitting
changed.
there making millions of dollars off of a game I paid $130 for.
Right.
and they can't even release the updates on time. It's like, come on, man.
That they promised us, nonetheless.
It seriously is like, what the fuck?
I only paid for the pass so that I can get that second raid, both raids.
And then
It,
it didn't
I,
even, like, it
the
was
raid is the
free
best thing that
content.
happened to Ghost Recon, I think.
And it pulls off to me like it's a scam. Like same thing with Division. The New York update, they delayed it past year one and then they charged us for it. I mean, it's the
Well, we
same
won't get into
concept.
that right now, but you're right. It's,
It's
I,
Ubisoft. I don't
Ubisoft
know.
has some of the best games and some of my favorite games. So
Agreed. Same. Assassin's
it
Creed
just
was
makes me
what I
really
grew up
unhappy to
on.
see this. So it is getting late at the time of making of this video. So um, sorry it was so negative, guys. Um, it was more about getting the information out to you guys than us
Hopefully the
being
future ones are
opinionated.
more
And
positive.
yeah, we did. It was more about us getting the information out to you guys than it was about us bashing it. But I personally just would prefer to see a bunch of different things than what they're doing. So, uh, this is Bateman from Rotab Gaming. That's ROTAB Gaming. And I'm here with Day Zero Gaming. And this has been episode 3 of the State of Breakpoint. And we hope to see you soon.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, make sure to check out both of our channels. They're both easily available on YouTube. And Day Zero out.